word of God is taken from Isaiah 48 verse 10. See, I have refined you, but not like silver. I have tested you in the furnace of adversity. For my own sake, I do it. For why should my name be profaned? My glory I'll not give to another. God is not a silent God. He is always wonder working in all the circumstances of human life. Whether we feel it or not, it doesn't matter to Him, because God is always in the process of building the foundation of human life. He used many sources to construct His people in order to make a vessel that would be used for His special purpose. Silver is refined through the furnace of fire, but in the case of humankind, it is not like the process of silver. But God gives the furnace of hardship, poverty, to refine soul of mankind. Firstly, it should be clear that God didn't create humankind for the suffering from the beginning of His creation. But the poverty, hardship is the choice of humankind by disobeying to God. There is no place to condemn to God for the suffering life of human beings. Although mankind was fall on that suffering life, God still had a hope for humankind to use that suffering as a refining furnace for the soul of mankind. The book of Exodus reveals God's divine instruction that they were prohibited to worship any creation like sun, moon, animals and trees. God chose to lead the people of Israelite from the wilderness after freedom of their slavery from Egyptian. God used wilderness as a refining furnace in order to test their faith in God. In the wilderness, the people of Israel faced so many challenges like thirst, hunger, tiredness, fear of enemies, unknown future, and heat of wilderness. Many of them didn't understand the God's original process of refining in the life of Israelite, and they developed the attitude of murmuring and doubt in the wilderness, so that the lack of passion of Israelite became to build the idol worship. Exodus 32:7-8 gives the account of Israelite built the molten calf. The tension created between the God and His people is that God's people couldn't able to discern who is God and who is idol. They tried to serve idol as their God, which is not according to the God's design of worship. The Israelite many times failed to walk in the faith and trust in that, so that they began to establish the idol in the place of God. The Bible says, if anything doesn't comes from faith, that is sin. So that the hardship should not be our weakness to build the idol worship, but it should be the place to build our faith in God more stronger. The book of Isaiah 58 verse 10 is the strong conviction of God that He is surely willing to brought the hardship, poverty to the people of Israelite who extremely violated the God's law by allowing the idol worship in their life. God revealed in the book of Ezekiel chapter 8 verse 10-17, where God reveals the idol sin of Israelite, where they build the idol of jealousy, statue of reptile. Women are crying for Tammuz, worshipping to sun and moon, and they were filled with the violence. The idol worship dragged the high attention of God's judgment towards His people, because God doesn't want to give His glory to the idol. God knows that, how to remove the idol from the human life, because He loves His people and jealous for His glory. God used the furnace of hardship to purify the soul of His people, so that around 586 BCE, God sent Babylon to made a captive Israelite, and they began to live as a slavery life for 70 years. Israelite became a slave of Babylonian, where God used that slavery as a furnace of suffering to purify the soul of His people. Israelites made many mistakes in their life, so that He put difficulties in their life, so that they may get a lesson that idol worship in the life of people of God will not work any longer. There is the warning. There is the warning from God that He can cast out them. He can cast out His people into the everlasting suffering. For those whom God loved, He led them into the wilderness in order to purify their faith for the eternal calling. Church should build the attitude to see the suffering as an opportunity to connect a relationship with God. There is no even one Christian that God doesn't use the furnace of hardship in their life. God wants to purify faith of believer, so that idol cannot be exist anymore in Christian life. The church is not absent from the idol worship. The growth of technology, social media, secular song, secular movie, same-sex marriage, and internet also become the idol of the church today. All the idol of church also preparing the coming of the abomination of Antichrist, who will act against the holy law of God. God will allow the Antichrist to rule in the final day of church, because God will use the furnace of suffering in the life of church. The book of Revelation chapter 13 verse 17 says, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. The church will face extremely suffering for the sake of purification. They will give their blood testimony while entering the eternity. The church will be completely separated from idol and corrupt system of this world. The book of Daniel 12 verse 10 testified that many shall be purified, cleansed and refined, but the wicked shall continue to act wickedly. None of the wicked shall understand, but those who are wise shall understand. Jesus did not promise to give better life in this mortal, corrupted world, but He promised to give a tangible peace to bear every kind of hardship of this world. He warned to the believers in the book of John chapter 16 verse 33. He said, I have said this thing to you, that in me you may have a peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Finally, it is clear that those who call by God will be tested their life in the wilderness in order to purify their faith and calling. God can use the furnace of suffering to build the soul of His people, and He will not share His glory to any other idol. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, always be thankful in all the situations and develop the faith and the trust in God, who will redeem the soul from the eternal suffering. The present suffering are not worthy to compare with the future glory. In the same way, the present suffering are not worthy to compare with the future eternal suffering, so that people of God allow to God to refine our lives without murmuring. He will purify our soul for eternal destiny.